everybody, this is Amy from Chateau de Rosieres again, and today on our daily video we're going to show you us plastering this wall, or finishing the plaster on this wall. If you remember, and I'll link to the video here, Marc and I did it, but we ran out of pigment, and Marc decided to keep going as far as he possibly could with what we had, but in the end it got a bit rushed and it was drying, and we ended up with these sort of, I don't know, I'm sure there's a technical term for it, but these marks from the trowel that, although we want it to look a bit rough, just look a bit too rough. So today I've got Jason and Michaela. I had hoped to have Dave and Marc as well, but always what happens is when you've been waiting for somebody to come and do some work on something for days, weeks, months, you go, right, well, they're coming tomorrow, so I'm not going to do anything. Oh, but they're coming the next day. So you do nothing, waiting for them, because you don't want to get immersed in another job. And then the day you start doing another job, they turn up, which is what's happened today with lots of people. So if you watch our other channel, the Lost Gardens of Chateau de Rosieres, you would have seen that we have a huge medieval wall collapsing in the garden that threatens to completely destroy one of the terraces, and we've been waiting for our stonemason Hervé to come and fix it, and he finally turned up at 8 AM this morning, which requires some Marc input. But then more excitingly, another project we're following is the planting of one of our new vineyards, and that's also being followed on the other channel, but that's something we have to do legally. Again, it's all explained over on the other side. And we finally got somebody to deep plough the field that we're going to do it on. So Marc actually has to jump in the car, drive an hour to get to this vineyard, and so he can't help us. But I still have my star team today. Michaela. Hi. And Jason. Howdy. And he's literally not said howdy the entire time he's here. And we're going to attempt to do the plaster on this wall together. So this is a special plaster that comes with a resin to glue it onto plasterboard, because normal plaster wouldn't stick. So yeah, when you get a really big bit, you can get it off. But apart from that, there's no point in wasting our time. We've wasted the money on the plaster, which is the expensive bit. Adding more plaster will only add to the texture, which is quite good actually. So maybe if we see a really big bit, you can snap it off. But apart from that, we're fine. That was low. That was really low. You must be doing exercises over here at the moment. That's incredible.
Yeah, 2 flew overhead yesterday.
I think they practice in these valleys, but that was not much above the hill over there, I don't think. Yeah. We've been just trying to find all the stuff to get together. It's so long since we did it. I found my notes on how much I used, but I'm slightly concerned they're the notes for what I used downstairs in the other room. But regardless of that, I think I'm going to try. One thing, when this dried, I found it a little bit too dark. It wasn't quite what I wanted. So I'm going to, since we have to do all this bit anyway, I'm going to make it a little bit lighter and see how that goes, just with a small batch. Because I don't think it would look wrong for that top triangle to be a bit different than the main bit, because there's a big division and you won't see that straight away. How many did I do?
So you only did one.
Let's make sure we're counting.
This is really helpful when we're videoing it, because I can check back later if I forget something. 3. Eight brown, 4 pink, and I think I'm going to reduce that to 6 fern and 3 pink. Or 1. 3. If you want to know more about this process, the pigments we're using, the plaster we're using, why we don't wet the wall first, all this stuff, go back and watch the other videos. That's not a cop-out, it's just a long, long explanation process for it all. So we're ready now to give it a go. Cool beans.
Mais après, c'est pas grave, moi, le tracteur transporte. Hein.
Ouais.
Ce qu'on veut faire, c'est directement en bas là-bas. Il va faire en bas, il m'a dit.
Ouais. Et je vais commencer. Oh, je suis pas professionnelle.
Mais
j'arrive.
C'est joli, oh.
Oui.
Ah oui.
C'est cher, mais ça marche bien.
D'accord.
When I mentioned earlier that everyone always turns up just as you're trying to do something, that was Ernie, who's doing the stone wall. He's amazing, but of course Marc's not here to manage him because he's gone to manage the vineyard, and Ernie needed help just at the point when this was starting to dry and just mixed it up, but he wanted to just know where to put all the sand to make the mortar for his wall and stuff like that. So, and where to get the water from and things like that. And then, nerve-wrackingly, he came to examine, because I told him I'm afraid I'm going to have to go because my plaster's drying. He said, I'm going to come and see what you're doing. Oh, he's a professional. I mean, he's not a plasterer, but obviously, as a mason, he works with grout and he sees a lot of other people doing it. But he wasn't too horrified, which is nice. In fact, I wouldn't say he was not horrified at all. Oh no, I just trod in the plaster. Which then means I have to take my shoes off.
I think it's good that I'm starting in the far corner. Usually it takes, a little bit before I figure out the technique.
Yeah.
And so we'll see this one for a while.
I will know. Every day we live in here, I'll go, darn Jason.
So this looks very dark. Is it going to lighten a
Yes,
lot?
yeah, it does lighten a lot. This is even lighter than the one that went on before. And then there's always this moment of panic where you go, oh no, I just put sludge on the wall. But it really does lighten. It's weird, there's a weird barley texture to it today. It's getting quite close to when I have to pick Clement up, and in order to try and finish this batch, I'm not going to have time to get changed, so I'm going to be the mum rocking up at the school gates in my overalls covered in plaster. I don't know if that'll make me the cool mum or the weird mum.
I think it's cool, Mom.
It would certainly dispel the image if anyone in the village is of any doubt whether I sit around drinking cocktails all day in the chateau.
It looks so pretty. Honestly, this is like my dream room.
Is it?
And I love this color. I was just telling Jason when we were walking through some of these French towns that I love the French pink.
See you in a bit. I'm just going to get Clement.
Oh, okay.
I'm still trying to get the effect that I got when I did the other, the fireplace on the potager before. And I think I should have come out whilst it was still a bit damper, but when Clement got back from school, it was lunchtime and it's everything. So it's quite dry now. But I'm using Hervé's tip with the sponge, and that really is smoothing out the little, it's leaving it to look a bit, you know, hand done, but it's not leaving the jaggedy edges, so I'm quite pleased with that actually.
I don't know how to do it. I don't know.
We ran out of plaster just before the end, but we think it might be okay because it was only going to be covering a bit that Marc had already done, and we're just going to see what the colours look like afterwards. If necessary, when it's all dried tomorrow, we could just mix a bucket and do a little bit of it. But we definitely got better as it went on, didn't we?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and we developed this thing where I was plastering and Jason was mixing it, and then afterwards he was going and rubbing it with a rubber glove all the way, because I think that's what I did with that bit, and it looked a lot better. Hello, baby. And it's honestly, I'm so pleased with it, and I cannot wait to see what it looks like when it dries.
Yeah, it looks good already.
This has been a brutal day with all the interruptions and the heat, but we've done it.
Yeah.
Mommy!
Hi, baby. Hi, baby. Oh, my baby.
What a beautiful wall.
What do you say?
It's a beautiful
No,
wall.
what was the phrase you promised me?
Well done.
No! They've been practicing. All hail the Queen of Plaster.
All hail the Queen of Plaster. There you go.
Beautiful.
I like the washing.
You need to wash it? Okay. Here, I'll take this. We don't want to get water on here. We want to keep it dry.
I need to put it. I need to keep it dry.